Hi, welcome to What the Flick. My name is Christy. That is Alonzo. That is Matt. Christmas has come early. It's almost Christmas with Almost Christmas, the resident Christmas expert, all things jolly and bright. Please tell us about it.
Okay, so Danny Glover is the patriarch of the Myers family, and his wife has just passed away. It's the first Christmas without her, and his entire family gets together, which includes his sister-in-law, played by Monique, and his 4 kids, who all have issues of their own with each other and in general. And, you know, can they work it all out in time for the holiday? Take a look.
You burned the macaroni! It was gonna be disgusting. I did you a favor.
Do me a damn favor, don't burn down the damn house.
What the hell did y'all do?
You can't afford to buy me no more outfits like this. This is my Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan.
All I'm asking is for 5 days for you all to act like a family.
You all should feel like a bunch of dumbasses. I'm just gonna blow my buzz.
If I close my eyes, I can see Mom in here like it was yesterday.
She is here. She's in every pot, in every pan. We are standing on holy ground.
So I was pleasantly surprised by this movie because regardless of the setting, usually these big ensemble Christmas movies like make me want to tear my hair out of my head because they're so cheesy and they're so wacky and they're so predictable and they're so safe. And
Wait, there was that one last year that was.
which one?
Last year.
I don't remember.
This Is Where I Leave You?
No.
But it's the same kind of movie where people
Yeah,
come
but there was
together
one. There
and
was a
work through their
Christmas movie
resentments.
last year that was this thing we're talking about. And
Family Stone.
Yeah.
They're all
Yeah.
like this, and I so abhor this subgenre of Christmas movies. I just find them like safe and lame, and I don't enjoy them. So I was surprised at how well this does what it does.
Yeah, no, I think this one's really effective, and it worked. I mean, obviously, I think for a lot of people, Christmas movies are almost. It's a different thing, or at least, you know, I think you have to kind of judge them in a different way because they're a delivery system for certain things that people like around the holidays. And so, you know, I think I at least give them a little more slack when it comes to things like sentimentality. Definitely, you find in Christmas movies that there's the idea of that family discussion that no one ever has, you know, that has...
At the table at dinner.
Exactly, yeah, that causes resentments and anger for years. In Christmas movies, they have that argument and then they fix it, you know. Yeah, no, and also this is written and directed by David Talbert, who has made some not very good movies. He did First Sunday and Baggage Claim.
Baggage Claim's terrible.
Yeah.
That was my worst of list.
Right?
Yeah, that was terrible.
But this one, however, is really charming. And
I'm looking up the one you're mentioning because Olivia Wilde did it.
oh,
It's coming to me.
I love the Coopers.
Love the Coopers.
I
yeah.
like Love the Coopers.
This is the same kind of movie, right? Where
It
it's like
is.
wacky family comes
This
together.
is much better than
It is.
Love the Coopers.
It is.
It's more. Love the Coopers, I think, veers toward sitcominess too often and kind of like is afraid to go to the darker places. Whereas this movie is actually about a dead person. Like, I mean, the mother's spirit kind of imbues the whole movie. And I've had that Christmas. Where the mom dies and the whole family gets together. And I mean, obviously we were nicer to each other than the people in this movie are, but
Really,
there
Alonzo?
is that,
Really?
there is, no, my family is weirdly functional. But no, there is that sense of absence, you know, and like there's always the person who's not at the table, you know, and the person who's not making the dish. And there's a whole subplot in this movie about sweet potato pie, about Danny Glover trying to make the sweet potato pie, about trying to find the recipes. And weirdly, it does, I can't think of another movie that really calls to mind specifically about how food can summon the presence of someone the way that an old photograph can. And okay, yeah, soul food. Thank you. You're right. But it doesn't come up that often in movies, and I found it really powerful in this one. Great ensemble cast, by the way. Right? You know, Gabrielle Union and Kimberly Elise, 2 actresses I love who we don't see in movies nearly enough. Romany Malco, Omar Epps, and Jesse T. Usher. I went in with kind of like, I was prepared to be kind to this movie, and I actually just straight up enjoyed it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty solid movie. I'm glad you brought up it. It avoids the sitcom elements, and there's, it has fun doing things like when the 2 daughters come in and they're talking to their father, and then he leaves the room and they just like don't say anything, and that was hilarious and true, and I think that this movie has a relatively honest look at the way family members talk to each other, and I think Monique and JB Smoove, who are clearly like the comic relief of this, could have been more over the top than they already are, but I think that there's some, I don't necessarily want to say grounded, but they fit. They don't seem like they came in and out of a different movie.
Right.
It's not distracting.
Yeah, and Monique's scene has some scenes with Danny Glover that are genuinely moving.
Yeah.
So it's not just her being like big, brassy, loud, funny lady.
But that's pretty great too, though.
Well, the funny stuff is funny,
that,
but the moving stuff is moving. So it hits the marks that it's trying to hit. And I will say this, one thing I've definitely learned in researching Christmas movies is that the movies that we now think of as the kind of unassailable classics, the go-tos every year, got terrible reviews when they came out. Because these movies, like I said, they're sentimental and they're sweet and they are, they're appealing to a different thing than a lot of other movies are, and it's easy for people like us to shit on that, and then years later, audiences just decide that they need that fix every December anyway. But yeah, I think this one sort of stands as just a movie that works.
And partly that is because they make tough tonal transitions pretty well. Because wacky sitcom-y stuff happens, and physical stuff happens, but then also, the moment of truth feel true, and that's a tough swing to make. I felt like this was a really exceptionally well-made Tyler Perry movie in that regard. Like in terms of production values, in terms of the script, in terms of the performances, like he also tries to encompass so much, including faith, including sex, including raunchiness, including comic relief. And it's just jarring and all over the place in terms of how it feels as a cohesive piece. And this, he makes the shifts work surprisingly well. And also, the characters all feel like actual people.
Yeah.
And so their struggles, like Gabrielle Union struggles, and everyone what they're doing, except for maybe the JB Smoove subplot is a little flimsy. But
it leads to some funny places. I thought the pill-popping college athlete youngest son thing felt a little added on.
Well, he was the accident child, right?
Yes.
He's the afterthought
so
child.
he's added on.
So he doesn't really get much of a
I can relate.
Yes.
I'm a change of life baby. But yeah, no, I don't like the movie. I don't think he even knows what the pills he's popping do.
They're painkillers.
I guess, but they don't. I don't know.
Hooked on them. Come on.
It's just it doesn't seem to be coming at it from a very smart place. But it's such a minor subplot that's like whatever.
But it leads to a moment of real emotion, right? Where he finally is able to work through his catharsis.
This
that
is
he
true.
needs.
This is true.
So he gets his moment to shine like everybody else does. So yeah, and the kids were cute. I actually, speaking of kids, I brought Nicholas to this. Okay, partly this is because of a babysitting issue, but also I thought, okay, it's got little kids in it, he'll be fine. He loved the little kids because the kids are kind of like the Greek chorus, commenting on how ridiculous all the grown-ups are.
They're tech savvy.
Yes, they definitely they tweet and stuff.
I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, like one of the things these kids do with their phones and the way, like they use their devices the way kids use their devices. And I think this is one of that rare cases we see in a movie made by grown-ups
where it's not just they're staring at their screens.
No, like they're using their devices to, even when they're hustled out of the room, they can still watch stuff, and they're putting stuff on their Instagram. Like, I thought that was really clever.
Yeah. So Nick enjoyed all that stuff with the kids, and he enjoyed the physical humor. He was asking me questions about, Mommy, why did the Santa Claus head pop off and stuff like that. So I would say if you need to bring kids, there's a bunch of language, most of which comes from Monique. But you know.
And I thought this was going to be like ripping off This Christmas, which I also like.
This Christmas.
Yeah, that one. Yes. But they're different. I mean, and so it is fascinating. In the last couple of years, we've had this sudden realization. Like, I don't know if it's that, there was a gap in the marketplace and people realized it needed to be filled. But like, we're getting this wave of Black Christmas movies between this and This Christmas and Best Man Holiday, and and so it's kind of cool that it's like, underserved, Black Nativity, underserved audience. Let's create this stuff, because if you make a Christmas movie that lands and that people like and that hits, it lasts forever.
As you know.
I mean, It's a Wonderful Life is, this is a 70-year-old movie that gets 3 prime hours on NBC a couple times in November and December. And, it's the one time a year when you hear Andy Williams on FM radio, And so it's a savvy move, but it's a good movie.
So don't let the fact that it's got posters full of people and matching Christmas sweaters dissuade you, because I thought, even like the matching bad Christmas sweater motif, like that's wacky.
It's a little played out, yeah.
But yeah, this is better than we thought it was all going to be. So what is your number then, Christmas Expert?
Christmas Expert says 7.8.
Okay, Matt?
What did I?
You said 6.5.
6.5.
I'm saying 7. So our average is 7.1, and we're way higher on it than the tomato meter is.
Yeah, it's in the 30s.
Again.
44, I think you said?
44,
It's
did
low.
I? Yeah,
It's
it's
low.
low.
Again, these Christmas movies
Bunch of
almost always get crappy reviews, and then people just decide for themselves years later that they dig it. So
Right. It's 90 degrees in LA today, but please go see Almost Christmas.
put on your matching sweater and.
Bye.